Did we not go live? Doesn't. I'm so glad you are here. We did it. Getting our lovely Instagram friends on board. But look who I have with me.
I'm Megan. I'm their newest tarot reader here at Megan's Books.
And she did brilliantly, not only when she auditioned, but one of our former tarot readers, who is now on staff, got a reading and loved it. Absolutely loved it. She was glowing with praise. So I'm confident Megan is going to impress all of y'all. We are going to chat in a moment. Of course, you know, it's announcements time. So, what have we got going on? Well, I want to preempt everything that I might talk about to let you know that our beloved Fred over at Fred Souls has discontinued count them, four flavors or scents of his incense. One, he's been out of for a while, so we don't have any left. We've been out for quite a while, and that's the Fireplace Pine. We barely knew you, Fireplace Pine, but we will miss you. The other three, I still have some of, but Fred and company are out of. So if you loved the Happy Hemp, what I've got left is what we've got, and then it's gone. If you loved, oh, this one breaks my heart a little, the Sage and Cedar, gone. We have just a few left. And the other one that's going is the Spiritual Sage. Again, here for such a short time, such a nice scent, but it is a thing of the past as soon as we are sold out, unfortunately. That said, the Taos Pine is coming back, and that'll be in our next shipment, which should have gone out yesterday and should be arriving later this week. So I'm excited to have Taos Pine back. So one little piece of good news, I guess it's the Four of Cups for us, some downed cards and some and some upright cups. Beautiful in that way, I guess. Little benefit there. Other things that have been coming in, we've been cutting back because we're getting ready for a move. We will be moving to a slightly smaller space, but we'll still have a nice classroom, consultation room. The store floor will be a little shrunk. The classroom will be a little shrunk. The consult room is pretty much as small as it can get, so it's stuck at that size. I will be announcing the address as soon as we've signed rental agreements and everything is actually set in stone. So I'm avoiding doing that, but right now it does look like we're probably just moving a few blocks north of where we are now, still on Central Avenue, even still on the side of Central Avenue that we're on, the west side. So we should be pretty easy to find even after we move. But things that could be happening here or there, depending on how far we are in the month, are absolutely going to include the Herbalism 101 class is going to continue its journey on Saturday the 5th. Gateway to the Gods is coming, and I think we're going to do the Red Lotus. If it's warm, I'm doing the Red Lotus Summer Blend drink, which is delightful. So come and experience the Red Lotus if you'd like, and we'll talk a little bit about what that herb's all about, where it's from, how it's been used traditionally, some of the chemistry, and of course, some of the cautions. And then we'll try a little, and we'll go on guided meditation, which is always a blast. We go meet the plant, it's fun. We'll be continuing our normal podcasts and broadcasts, so we're looking for those. We're now at 7 times a week, so 6 minis a week and 1 big show a week, so that's always fun. Herbalism 3 continues its Tuesday nights. We're starting to go through our case studies for the students to bring in their case studies, which is always a blast, and we started that this last week. Yesterday, in fact, so much fun helping that person with that case. And of course, year 2, we'll be meeting tonight. When do I go home on Mondays and Tuesdays? I almost don't. It's true. And it's fun. So it's okay. The Standing Stones will be meeting on the last 3 Saturdays of the month. So come and check those guys out, and I will go through what's coming up with them in just a few minutes. Tarot Lab will be Sunday the 13th. That's the second Sunday of the month. That's a by donation class taught by Nancy Antonucci, where she takes you through a few exercises to help you get to know your tarot deck a little bit better, which is fun. Reiki 1 will be on the 20th, the following Sunday. An astrology class will be at 3 p.m. on the same day. So that will be fantastic. That's Adam, our astrologer in-house. He's brilliant. His depth of knowledge is amazing, just like Nancy's is on tarot. And just like Chris's is on palmistry. He had a blast last month teaching that palmistry class. If you didn't get a chance to come in, he actually has 4 different classes he gives during those by donation classes. So the astrology class, the tarot class, the palmistry class, those are all by donation. So if you're feeling a little tight this month, but you're still curious, come check it out and give what you can. If you're feeling lush and you loved the class, you can always give a little more. They appreciate it. We appreciate it. It's just fun for everybody involved. That's the big highlights for the schedule. And just so that I run through what you guys are likely to get from Standing Stones, this month in April on the 12th, sacred sexuality and sacred nudity. So they'll cover those concepts that can be a little scary for some folks. The 19th, another Saturday, will be paganism, children, and family. There's some logic there, I think. And April 26th will begin their 3-part series on divination methods and introducing everybody in the classes to a variety of tools for divining, like tarot. And they are always great classes. They're always well attended. They're completely free. And for anybody who is interested in those herbal classes that I mentioned, they'll be starting up again in the fall. So year 1 will probably be on Tuesday evenings in September. If you're interested, sign up as soon as you can. If you need a payment plan, those start in June, and we can break that out into 3 payments in June, July, and August. So the other note I would give you guys is, of course, a note about our fabulous readers, which is that today, Megan will be here. She'll be here tomorrow as well. Ravenwolf will be in on Friday, and Ravenwolf and then Kenneth will be in on Saturday. Doc Murphy on Sundays, and Paul, our dream interpreter, will be in for the latter part of Monday afternoon. So that said, I have a new little feature for you guys. It's, what am I wearing? And what am I drinking? So what am I wearing? Well, I have beautiful treasures from Tracy on my fingers today. These 2 are gorgeous little rings from her. These are like 8 or 9 size. This one's a beautiful dark amethyst, and this one is a rough amethyst. So same stone, just not polished. Isn't that cute? I have a beautiful piece of mirror jewelry on from Chris Wilson, another local person. She reclaims jewelry and turns it into these magical mirror pieces. It's the first spell you learned as a kid. I know you learned it. Come on now, say it with me. I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. This one is not designed that way. So most of hers are designed with the mirror facing out to do that reflective work. This one, the mirror is on the back side to help you keep your positivity and your groundedness reflecting back on you. It's a great type of necklace to come in and wear if you're feeling a little insecure about your situation, a little nervous. It reflects your positivity back to you. So that's amazing. I love that kind of thinking. And of course, my fabulous scarf is one of Jerry's imports. Remember, always, you're helping Jerry in her retirement every time you buy one. So we just send her a check a month, and she's done importing. She's retired. So while she brought us lots of cool stuff, when it's gone, for better or worse. And then there's, of course, the what am I drinking? Today, in my little cup, in my little tea basket in here, I have some Eleuthero, I have some faux tea, I have a little bit of rose hips, and in case it's too cold, cardamom, just to warm that back up. It's delicious, it's luscious, I love it. And it's just what I made this morning when I was inspired to make myself some tea. But that's all my catching up for you guys for news and what's new and happening. The rest of my time is on the Found Megan. So you do tarot here, right?
Yes. I started tarot when I was 14. I'm currently 41, so.
Little experience.
So, yeah. This place is a perfect fit for me. It's very grounded. The energy is very sacred in this place, and it's given me an outlet for my psychic gift through tarot reading to inspire and be helpful to others, utilizing my gifts in a way that is motivating for them and also insightful.
And you're already starting to gather a following, I'm noticing. There are
Okay,
folks that are
yeah.
like really enjoying the readings beyond the staff.
Right, yeah. I'm starting to get some loyal customers,
Yeah,
which I'm more than happy to have.
yeah, it's kind of fun when that starts happening. So yeah, I think that the crowd is saying that, yeah, you're spot on. So what's the deck, what are the decks that you read with today?
The Shadowscapes deck, which I actually got here,
It's beautiful.
is my main deck. Yeah, it's very beautifully depicted and illustrated. Yeah, and then I have the Mysticals Imaginatory. I'm trying to remember the full title of the deck because I've got to get too familiar with it, but Imaginarium, the Mystics Imaginarium deck that I got here also, which is more, so the Shadowscapes deck is more based on the Rider Waite,
Mm-hmm.
and the Mystics Imaginarium deck is more based on consciousness, different stages of consciousness.
That's a very cool deck to be playing with. I'm glad you're incorporating it in because it maybe will help people figure out if you've got a question about something like what's my true calling, so that you can address it on different levels of who you really are, because we all have hidden depths.
We all have layers.
Yes, we all have those layers. And I think that can be really useful. So yeah, and I love that Shadowscapes deck. It's gorgeous. It's
beautiful.
It's evocative. It's everything you want a good tarot deck to be. And yeah, it's just based on that Rider-Waite deck done in the early 20th century by Pixie, by Ms. Smith. She's delightful from all accounts. So that's what you're working with today. What was the deck you had when you were 14?
The deck that I started with was the Osho Zen meditative deck.
So you didn't start easy.
No, I did not. So yeah, I began the journey of tarot at 14 and utilizing the Osho Zen meditative deck, and I think I've known I was gifted since I was 10, but then at age 14 I was old enough and to have the awareness of how to utilize the cards and keep the space that I was using to do readings sacred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. You do want the right, it's important, I think, to have the right energy present
Yeah, definitely.
when you're doing the work that you're doing. No matter how you verbalize that, no matter how you think of it. I just think it's, I don't care if you say it's the universe, I don't care if you say it's a particular deity that you hook into that positive energy, that energy that helps propel us forward and does the kinder things in life.
Right.
It's the nicest way I think I can put that, especially today. But so when you're approaching a tarot deck, it's like one you have not known, how do you get used to it? How do you sort of break it in or develop the relationship with it that you'll need?
Yeah, definitely doing readings for myself. Just really saturating those cards with my energy and forming a connection with the cards. The more readings I do for myself, it's good practice to extend that to others, and it really just connects my energy with the cards.
Well, that's a good way to do it. Do you ever get readings from other tarot readers?
Recently, a couple friends have utilized the Shadowscape deck to give me readings, and I'll find out if they're spot on in the near future.
I think that's perfect. Because I do think if you're reading for yourself a lot, it's possible to like dive into some rabbit hole of perception where you're like sort of boxing yourself into something that you don't need to be boxed into.
Right.
So I love that you do both, that you both will get readings from friends and people you trust, as well as do readings for yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Australia did. I had a tarot teacher who locked herself into a 72-hour lockdown one day because and she blamed reading for herself too often. And I think that's also a key. If you're doing it, I mean, if you're doing it once a day, I think you're learning and you're getting to know the deck and it's healthy. But I feel like if you're going back to it 5 or 6 or 18 times a day, maybe it's time to get someone else's perspective. But like you, I started when I was younger, and so I had some interesting experiences with teachers and practices. I'm sure you've had some interesting instances, some really odd readings that surprised
Right.
everybody involved.
Mhm.
Yeah, do you have any favorites that you've done that are?
Um, I really enjoyed giving Liz a reading.
The other Liz?
The other Liz, yes, there are two Liz's here.
here.
And it's hard to, if you're not looking right at them, it's hard to base it on a description because they're both Liz and they both have similar hair color and glasses.
And texture, and yeah, I'm heavier, that's about it, that's the only difference I can give you, that's clear.
And they're both wonderful.
Oh,
So they're both
thank you.
very empowered women. Did you have any other questions?
Oh, just like if there was a favorite reading that you've done, that,
Oh,
or
yeah,
one that really
recently-
stood out, or.
Recently, the reading I gave Liz, and then I gave my friend a reading last night, and she was very happy with she was very happy with the outcome and the interpretation in general. She was very happy with it. She did say that it was spot on and accurate about a new relationship she's in.
Good.
And so she's on cloud 9, and the cards and through the messages that I was getting from the cards prove that she had a reason to be on cloud 9.
That's very
So,
cool.
Yeah.
That's always happy.
So it's, with the readings, I definitely go for accuracy. I don't sugarcoat, but I utilize intuition instead of judgment.
Mm.
Like there's no prejudging the customer or just going off of like their body language or it's like I really do hear from spirit guides in order to interpret the cards too. So yeah, and then I do include energy readings with my tarot readings. That is a little more difficult to explain unless you're right in front of me.
Yeah.
But there was, for example, when I gave Liz the reading, there was a circle on the shape of a circle on one card, and there was such an emphasis around this symbol, and I immediately identified that she had a very vast, clear awareness of the third eye. I finished the reading and took notes for her and recommended third eye meditation. Because the question she had was how to, pretty much in a nutshell, how to expand the awareness she already has of her own energy and chakras and the third eye. And then the other day, a few days later, she told me that the third eye meditations I recommended were very helpful and grounding.
Oh, that's perfect.
So yeah, I was very happy to hear that.
Yeah, that sounds like great results from a reading.
Yeah.
Good guidance. And I often do find if I'm reading that once you know a deck and you've worked with a deck and you already have all the classic meanings memorized, people do, you'll pick out, you'll just subconsciously, there'll be a symbol that just speaks to you louder than anything else on the card and becomes the focus of how you interpret the card. And that's a little different from just like looking up the meaning in the booklet that came with the deck.
Right.
That's, you're starting to key into that intuitive process. The tarot and oracle decks are meant to help you engage. Just that's the whole goal, isn't it? You're just trying to tap into that higher power, that source, for a little more guidance. That's all you're looking for there. But so from 14 to 41, that's a lot of experience with tarot. Is this the first time you've done professional reading?
This is the first opportunity and the first time I have done tarot reading on a professional level, yes.
And I know she was recommended by one of our readers who had already had a reading from her. So essentially you did 3 auditions, really.
Yeah, I did.
You got hired after the second one, and then the third one was a beautiful confirmation, which is very sweet.
Yeah.
But, and that was Ravenwolf who recommended you, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So also a good guy.
Yeah.
But have you spent that whole time like coming back to the decks again and again and just dabbling?
From 14 till now.
From 14 till now.
Anytime I've been practicing tarot reading, I'm fully immersed in it.
Yeah.
Kind of a little too much sometimes, but it's something I'm very passionate about. So I wouldn't say I dabbled. I'd say I was all in, periodically from 14 years old up until recently. And recently it's even more of a immersion in that practice.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Mhm.
I can even remember bringing a tarot deck with me to somebody's prom when I was in high school.
That's
We
awesome.
went to each other's proms, and I just took my tarot deck with me. And what did I wind up doing? Did I dance? Sure. Did I also give 4 or 5 tarot readings? Yeah, I did. In my little formal gown and everything. So it's kind of fun as you get to know the deck. I'm sure it gave you some social cachet in high school.
Not so much in junior high, more so.
Junior high?
Yeah, and then more so in my 20s, I started doing readings for other people and just to gain test the waters and gain that experience.
Nice. Very nice. So, see, is there anything, do you have any favorite authors on the subject? Is there anybody you like reading or?
I have a feeling I'm about to have a favorite author. The woman who is hosting the tarot event on I believe it's the 13th.
Yes, yeah, on the second
Of
Sunday
April.
of April, yes.
And her name again?
Nancy Antonucci.
And Nancy Antonucci. Yeah, I picked up a book called Psychic Tarot, and I inquired about it to Adam, our astrologer and associate here, and he said that it was written by Nancy.
Nancy, yep.
So I'm really looking forward to attending that, getting to know the author and purchasing the book as soon as I can.
Yeah, Nutra's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll love the class. However, in case you have not heard this advice, I don't know if you've heard it either, it's usually packed. Get here 10 minutes early to claim a seat. It's just word to the wise. We'll find a chair for everybody, but it gets a little tight in here. The whole room is in a giant horseshoe of spots, and they're usually full. So she does a great job. And she's fun. And she also runs, just so as long as we're talking about her, she used to be one of the people who ran a local tarot conference. That has ended after many, many years, over a decade that ran. And they have shifted to a weekend retreat now. So if you really want to dive into your tarot and get your tarot on, it's going to be great. They're going to do it every year. At least that's the plan at the moment. But it's a smaller group as a result. Instead of seeing 75 people, maybe 100 people, all of them like talking about tarot and enjoying the classes that are a part of their conference, now it's going to be a retreat. So you're going to spend more time with these folks because you'll all be together for the weekend. But I think it's only 22 people at the current facility they're using. So it's a smaller group. So if you're interested, reach out. It's North Star Tarot. Reach out and get your info from them because I bet those retreat spots fill up pretty fast because it's a pretty amazing group of people working tarot. So maybe I'll get to go one year. I don't know. And Liz, the other Liz, has also been an attendee at those conferences. So I'm sure she would also love to take a weekend and go. We would have to cover each other, so we can't go at the same time, at least not right now. So maybe next year one of us can go. That's Nooch and that whole crowd, and they're great, and you'll love it, I promise. They get wonderful guests in. It's just a fascinating time with them. But anything else you want to tell us about your readings or?
I was surprised that it was easy to incorporate the energy healing and aura reading into tarot reading, to incorporate both factors together, and it's been much easier. Hard to explain without the cards in front of me, but it's been much easier to accomplish than I expected. And I'm just really happy that it's being helpful to other people and helping them problem solve, giving them insight, giving them that wisdom and advice too. It's just, I'm very happy with the results of how beneficial it is for other people.
How long have you been working with the aura reading? How long has that been part of what you've been doing?
Since I was 18,
Okay.
predominantly, since I was 18, yeah.
Nice. That was very cool. It's always fun when you can get those visuals.
Mm-hmm.
I know if I'm doing Reiki, not so much when I'm doing readings, sometimes, but
Mhm.
more when I'm doing Reiki because I'm meditating over somebody for, 50 to 80 minutes. So you have a lot of
Right.
time to dive in. And then, you might see, oh, I see some people over there. Okay. They have guides, they have relatives, they have people. It's always fascinating to have the experience of that. It's always fascinating to be in that moment and to be able to share it with the person who's really going to benefit from knowing it.
Mhm.
Those are the bits I value. Now, I will be a skeptic when I'm not in those moments. I'm capable of being that skeptic too, but not when I'm in it. When you're in it, I think you have to be in it fully, or you
Right.
don't get the journey that you're looking for out of it. You just commit 100%.
Right, I would agree.
Yeah. I always compare it to going to the theater or watching a movie or a television show. If you're going to MST3K and if you're going to sit there and be critical about it, that's not the same experience.
Right.
Do that after. Go ahead and cry in the sad scenes if you're inclined to during the experience and really invest yourself and become involved, because I just think you get so much more out of it. And the same I think is true with readings,
Right.
with any of this kind of energy work, psychic work. I think you just get so much more out of it if you just dive in wholeheartedly and know that the information is coming from a good place.
And I think the first step to that, diving headfirst in and just being fully present in the moment and in the span of time of the reading is just keep an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
The first step would be to open your mind to the possibilities of, how it can be beneficial, how it can be true.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I did a reading for somebody here recently, a customer here recently, where they said, last time I got a reading here, I do it like once or twice a year. I totally thought they were completely wrong. And then 3 weeks later,
Everything.
yeah. And it turned out it involved a person that she wouldn't have expected to involve. I mean, there was a whole backstory to the thing. So yeah, I would say not only be open in the moment, but also be available to it even weeks later, because it might be that what was coming wasn't something that was even in your imagination. And I like to think that way about magic too. Like,
Right.
I'd much rather, like, if you want to be in a relationship and you're not, I'd much rather you focus on being open to love than I want that person right there. One, it's a little manipulative. Two, I don't want to live in that world, so I'd appreciate it if you did not help move the world in that direction, where that's what we do to each other. And three, you might get a much better relationship when someone you didn't think of that way surprises you. Somebody you've known for years that you just never thought of that way and it suddenly hits you, or somebody you've never met before, you finally meet someone and they're just a better match. And they're a better match because you allowed the universe to unfold the possibilities in front of you instead of deciding for the universe what it needs to do for you. I think that works better.
I would definitely think that works better.
Kind of going with the flow, not fighting the universe, but figuring out how to move with it in a way that brings you joy and happiness, and therefore lets you spread joy and happiness. I think that's where it counts. So I think we've been having fun, and I think we'll try a secret word this week, a secret shopping word, and it is Megan. Megan, because you want to come get a reading with Megan.
I'm here every Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 6, and I hope to see you.
Yes. And if you I'll leave a note for Adam and for Liz, and they'll let everybody else know that if you come up to the register and you give the secret word, Megan, that you will get the secret discount. Have a great week, everybody. We will see you soon, I hope. Everybody here at Vegas Books in Minneapolis and over at vegasbooks.com, we thank you. We love that you watch, whether you watch us in the live or later. We love your shares, your likes, your subscribes, all the things. And we look forward to seeing you all soon.
Bye.
Blessed be.